reports nangasa kraka say anything football be football be na City
were on top,
but the goal
I think I agree with that slot on this part. Say yaw goal in there was Wontumi. Then my last story na me fancy yaw. When you look at the Spanish La Liga, dynamics in says Saba, Madrid akobo draw against Vallecano, Barcelona akoshe Celta Vigo. Yaw Hansi Flick, the problem is still persistent. And now go no more consider after Lewandowski share penalty. No. Another quick transition right behind them. And just for maybe different kind of discussions we can do about the Barcelona setup and what they are doing in the absence of certain key players. Yeah, Meji to me say against Celta Vigo you might be able to get the results with this. But against teams be able to show more Champions League, maybe I could share Chelsea now you wouldn't be getting some of these results. Yeah. And Lewandowski needed to step up for Barcelona to get a result. And Celta Vigo, before this game, no, they were on top form. Let me commend Barcelona for winning this game, first of all. But me congratulate him because now Celta Vigo last 5 games, so more coming into this game, now you're lose. So meaning in terms of form, no more so. As compared to even Barcelona in their last 5 games. But for Barcelona to beat them by 4-2, that is a good job by Barcelona. But the problem still remains. Problem no still no clear. But I think the dynamics of the league, it is good for Enyomobia able to me ashama the competition of the Spanish La Liga and because for Madrid, I think it's no news. So Marco Vallecano akobo goalless. Yeah, and we are one team. How petit momotete Madrid players our team no. How petit momotete Madrid pa. And I think the last one Madrid had was even 1-0. Madrid crab show Honma 2-1, 1-0. A difficult grounds for Real Madrid. And I think to get a draw over it may be a loss, because there were early chances that were being created. Real Madrid controlled the game at some point in time. I was expecting the likes of Kylian Mbappe to step up, but for a draw at this stage of the season, I think it is good for Real Madrid. And I've said it, say League, Pep Guardiola say League November. So even between the two of them, I think the results. If FIFA will be doing this weekend, I want to see how after the international break both teams will carry it on.
Whoa, Mate, Medase, Mezana, me ba Mike na Mike Edenetian about say it's an offside. Had Robertson stood, the ball would have hit him and Robertson, knowing that he bent down so that the ball will go into the net. And he down kwa ata and down kwa di the message. And so at the bar and anope na Chelsea was scores even. 7.5 so try now because my message is and cabit me as bim di anka me hwe no na makan odie no so edi ama but na kwam say but Barcelona were better in the second half. Na them say first half na nya but second half am say omo improve nyoma. Mike
fancy me that say to start with, I think there is a weekend that was full of refereeing controversy. Efia na manone yenya bebrina. And the Liverpool game, did Liverpool really deserve that goal? I think it's subjective. And Nino will boil down to the interpretation of the law. It drew instances like this and mostly discretionary. Inti referee be ebeje. Another referee might allow it. So in this case, let's be very clear on this. What actually happened was that, as it has been showed, videos anyway, some more mobile to way. Van Dijk had a ball. Robertson was in an offside position, which in itself any offense. But ball neighbor, Robertson saw the direction of the ball. No, yes, Obunimu or Koto. Nabono afane so diako. Apparently, the goalkeeper also was headed towards that direction, trying to make a save. So clearly, interpretation will differ here. Did Robertson impact Donnaruma's movement and now impacting the vision? Donnarumma who born now when he saw it. Per the action of Donnarumma, who may be a born neighbor. Who picture? So when who born now, maybe his movement would have been different, but he saw the ball. But it's about timing. Again, VAR ne intervention in play. Mostly the decision that was taken on the field say if there is a clear and obvious error in that decision, and your chief referee now joins AC to say, Debbie, I say the mateki dear Debbie, and then run boy brandy brana behe. In this instance, the on the pitch decision that was taken not by the referee Chris Kavanagh, a assistant referee in a offside Wojuma, and it is mostly a mistake that we make all the time.
Referee nanye.
Say a line where you know offside, a assistant referee Juma, but line, a assistant referee Juma, they are in charge of the lines, so they assist the referee in making such a decision. So the best decision a referee will make in instances like offside, to refer to the assistant. No, then the recommendation from the assistant is what most of these referees base on and decide. So per the assistant referee, not say Robertson was in an offside position and he was impacting play. So VAR, what VAR will do here is that then it is not a clear and obvious error, and yet clear in the sense that we are still debating about it. Did Robertson impact play? Did he not impact play? Is in an offside position? That one is clear. But the impartation of play, say, activity neso ana action neso no. Ujina mijina ha komie jina. Yekaso obi anche na adwea. Obi ade besesa. The obeka no will not be the same as I say it. It will not be the same as Akomia says it. Perspectives. Send you missing huno. So when it becomes like that, it does not mean and satisfy the criteria for clear and obvious error. I bet me actually referee no Edinaba screen so. So the way I didn't sit here. So one, a subjective. We cannot make a definite stance. Say I am pa Robertson will impact play, and I say Nyampa will impact play. And here one, subjective. Two, there is no clarity on Robertson's involvement, so it does not satisfy the requirement for clear and obvious error. And we be a referee take a discretionary and a based on interpretation. Sinti instance say no ye benya bi wo Premier League ni mu a ebi yaji go ebi anji go. This same incident. Obi had the ball, Obi jina keeper nchen, okotoye yaji go. There was a Bernardo Silva incident, sir. Na Silva jina keeper denim. Ye ball no huri. But yaji go no. You say he did not really impact play. In this instance, it has been given as an offside. Yanji go because he say we impacted play. So based on the interpretation of the officials or more officiating game no. And about the subjective matters now, utmost responsibility lies with the officiating officials. So, yent means sinipi. The Liverpool fans will feel aggrieved because Akwetiom and Sana football net here say a comma why you keep quiet and then agree, but they have not been robbed. In as much as the decision did not go in their favor, it does not mean that they have been robbed of a goal, Debbie. And Tenesa, their own interpretation will point towards that, but it comes to the interpretation of the referee. Sani omomusi huno no referee niso huni different. So let's not hang out the referee to dry. As we sing your maybe no de peg abu bom no neo minsio sone frame. Memi emfa referee ne mma ho memi emfa peg mu bonu mu mamoja sabe en sone mfini trimungu. Let's not hang him to dry. Let's understand some of these technicalities around the game and especially officiating. You don't just all of a sudden change how VAR should be applied and then move on. But on the day, critically, Arne Slot is still confounded with Liverpool decision making regarding the best lineup or. And I think, yes, Obiaji to Florian versus an asset. But as it stands now, he is more of a liability to Liverpool in terms of how they want to play and how he cannot contribute. The vets kitabo you know. Liverpool players maybe bray yes maybe. Yes. What does Vets do with the ball? He creates. He opens up spaces. He has excellent vision in terms of passing. Mebwa, no movement.
Yes.
Tell me one Liverpool attacker. Oh yeah, available to me starting out to me maybe. Give me one, just one name. Gakpo, yeah. Ekitike, yeah. Isaac, if he's fully fit and informed, oh yeah. Salah does it. What Vets does not offer when he's not in possession is actually something Liverpool lack. Let me tell you something. Endra game na you know. What Guardiola decided to do was to overload in the midfield. It is exactly how he used to beat Bournemouth. Foden, Bernardo Silva, they will be very close and narrow to Nico. Then Sharky was not playing as a wide option. No, so Kawom. And then more Matheus Nunes, more to Minya space. So check the first goal. It was from a Nunes cross.
Yes,
why not right winger?
Yes.
It was Sharky, but he was inside, allowing an outlet and space for Matheus Nunes to send in the cross.
There's a more attention call midfield now.
Then they will release a quick pass to the flanks.
Yeah.
To the left, it was Doku. Snap, no BM, not the court. That is how direct City was. But they will concentrate on overloading their midfield. Send enough numbers to boss Liverpool around. So check. Why near Bernardo Silva? He check in the war box in him, no, but he's the right winger. Check the pass. On person Ruben Diaz to Matheus Nunes, number 27. Vets, Vets and Robertson. Omo sandwich Bernardo Silva. The right winger is Ryan Cherki, and he's closer to Alexis McAllister, the central midfielder, than to the flanks. No Bono. Now check those who are in the central areas for Man City. Oh, Ryan Cherki. Oh, Phil Foden. Oh, in Holland. Oh, Jeremy Doku. So City were very narrow in the middle, but still offered a width outlet, whether on the left or on the right. And this is exactly how the first goal came about. They were dominating them. But the best example of what I want to speak to, Florian Wirtz and in a contribution. In defending, especially a flanks near across the ball now, Samuel 2 and a more markia. There is one player, on only the end say, I will prevent the player Okita Bono from crossing. And the other one is to block the crossing channel. But the two Liverpool players here, I don't think they coordinated well enough. Inti baku hunu semina meko presse, ana baku hunu semina mijina nama blocking. So check between Florian Wirtz and then Andy Robertson. So Okaya, Matheus Nunes will have not less than 2 seconds to make a decision. In a highly intense league like the Premier League, you enjoy players and that luxury of time, quality that they have. So check more video ni bi when you born tiaso 1 2 3 David, he's free. And that is what Florian Wirtz does not offer. A Cody Gakpo will press this ball. So I don't agree with Arne Slot's selection. Miwo Gakpo bench, unless be anu pra. I think it was wrong to play Wirtz as the left winger. Wirtz in the best position here, central. And that is where Liverpool are still contending. How do they play him in the central areas? Because Oban Fin was what? If Jumana Zobo's like without the ball, no, on to me, because he's not yet up to that intensity in terms of the Premier League. So, Wakwaya Santro Fianoma, Liverpool fan, no, Omafa Musio, Bankomu Janeswa, and Komu Jaisradie. And that is the story of Florian Wirtz. He's a very good player. But Liverpool's Arne Slot is struggling in terms of how to integrate him into this team and make sure say Beshem Emma Sintom Ma Boba Beshem no Washemukina. And then the problem can see Omufezi. And yes, a player no wasa and no more, but no. Wirtz is a very good player. But at times, how are you see player no? A Trese Beko ye and a Enko ye. Arne Slot has not found that formula yet. And I think that the more he tries to find ways to include him, the more it becomes problematic for Liverpool. Because one, the Liverpool team do not have a lot of ball winners in there. o check your team ni here in no there is not a single natural profile or yet a ball winner, a ball tackler. So it means they depend on numbers to block spaces like they did to Madrid. So here Madrid game ni here or more blocking spaces, so it was difficult for Madrid to break through. If they had a profile like Caicedo and then there's a vet ne kwa na Caicedo na beshawa ye say jumana, but they don't, and that is the biggest issue they face now. So vet ne boy, when they have the ball he will pass around. Or but there was an instance what Chiobi said Nico was saying almost when the mummy a man yellow card. That tells you how brilliant he is on the ball, but without the ball he becomes more of a liability, and the issues that Liverpool will need to contend with. But the defeat to Man City, it points towards something that Liverpool will need to do a lot to get back into the title defense picture. Since a league near, the reality suggests that Liverpool can kiss it goodbye. Yes,
but so senior players never say over.
No, they will speak to the fans. You see, players now are also PR specialists, and it's all banned from remember because in the league Nigeria going to minje.
But as it stands now,
they will fight for it. But the reality is, they are like third favorite.
Wow.
Now as it stands, a advantage Arsenal, Manchester City.
And according to Opta, only Arsenal 1, Chelsea 2, Man City 3.
No, Chelsea drew. Chelsea are not there.
Yeah.
The Chelsea team you see cannot sustain a title challenge. Wontumi.
No, yeah,
they cannot do that. One, because they are not matured enough. The Chelsea team you see, Omonia matured enough. And a game no mobile against Wolves. If it was against any other opponent, but Wolves or struggler, they would have gotten a point at Stamford Bridge, especially from the first half. Chelsea team, they were very talented players, but they are not matured enough to sustain a title challenge. Then City, by virtue of the manager and then the squad they have now, Pep Atres was a better team now, so he knows how to use them, and it looks like we're cracking the code for using any player in the midfield. So Rodri anymore. Nico has settled in. I think he's gone under the radar. Yamona Basso, but he's one of the players who has impressed. Our Man City. Yeah. And he's come to terms, and Pep in him say, so Okasa or board don't quite want a 4-1-4-1 formation now. Diego. So now he decides to give him company with Bernardo Silva, Foden, into overcrowded midfield nepe. Passing options in your day, mano, then they can improve. It looks like Pep has cracked the code. But how consistent can they be? But Omutu no, we are the front runners now. Arsenal, Manchester City.
Wow.
But Liverpool, I am saying, in my opinion, they can kiss the Premier League title goodbye. And yadia, Omonsa Betimia Kase Omo defend it. And again, it will signal how Liverpool have not really been good in terms of building on success. Imagine league nibida, but they could not build on the success effectively. And yeah, last season they won the league under Klopp. Now City, when they won the league, they sustained it and improved. No league 4 times that it was so. That is what Liverpool struggled to do. They can't break into the next barrier. And that is the problem for them, because it looked like a perfect summer per the business they did. It looked like a wonderful end to the season. Salah renew, Van Dijk renew. Oh, they lost a year Trent. Then they decided to splash the cash, bring players who were doing very well at their clubs on board. Jeremy Frimpong, Leverkusen. Vez, Leverkusen. Ekitike, Frankfurt. Isaac, Liverpool. Kerkes, Bournemouth. These were players who were excelling at their teams, but you need to integrate them into the Liverpool unit and make sure say a team no konenim. A bit take it time. A bit so dear when Moises Caicedo came to Chelsea, it took him some time before he settled. Verse aside the technical issues, there is also the psychological issues. Technical issues in your league, the demands, the physicality, how intense it is, and then the technical role at the Bemano will deliver. And then what he also contributes without the ball. And the other issues are adding, but another thing in the price tag. Yes, it is also affecting him. It will affect every player. no matter your pedigree. It is all your Messi and now Ronaldo. But no matter your pedigree, I am not tag need to watch it. When you be a umu do or character, it is difficult to shake it off, and that is the problem there. I think, say, trust me, say a man you know but mom and what bore up to this stage and our issues way back, waste of money, a massive flop. This would have been the headlines that would dominate the English tabloids and then the media. But we've seen the extent that the media has gone to explain everything in every detail, technical issues, or much breaking it down. This is the same media that castigated Paul Pogba. And most expensive signing, and I don't know, but maybe forgive me. I also can't be Anna because what I said, the kind of scrutiny Paul Pogba faced, and Pogba didn't won. The contest was Obera Manchester United team wana egumu. Afina ni yeshe. Where they were best team wa mujina so or Magic League. One difference, no? Yes. But we crucified Paul Pogba.
Not to me.
Whoa, Mate, Mike, me that say. Whoa, now Kilo Drips, I say Chelsea will surprise you this season. Chelsea doesn't have the reps to win the league, but this Chelsea team is either winning the league or finishing second or third. Whoa, Supremo say Bibi cool.
I don't fancy Bibi Aboko.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Mate.
Ti yɛwura enough ni nkɔmɔ kakra ne mom tabia for daro ma sɛ de bia yɛde wɔn nsɛm ba na nano pay wɔn nso eta echi tabia back yɛ ka ne sɛ we takum no yɛn ka wasɛm nkyerɛ Ghana for takum ne mu ɔde pa obedi bi oyɛ ɔba obedi bi oyɛ bɛma obedi bi ma watenka ɛkɔsoro olebi do no emu pagya amanu ama yɛ kama de ma nti tabia no ana me kamfo adi ama tabia ba capsules ɛno nso ɛboa ma osisi yɛ ɔya onya bia enu ama bɛ kama ɛde ama nti ɛno nso nsɛm kakra ɛno no unya tabia capsules ni bia na osisi yare no nneɛma nso aye kama ɛde ama na afi yewuram no na afi wo petabia ba Mr. ni bi na ɛno nso wanya bi anoma bɛboa na yi malaria ɛde afri 0243686861 na wadi nkɔmɔ ruta natural product wa adwama nso ruta Mr. ɛna afi me come for the ama so be pibi na afi wanom ɛno boa ruta Mr. no yi ɛka ne sɛ malaria na afi general body pains na ɛno nso be free ho ɛde ama ntia na wakamfo na wapibi na bibia nso aye kama na eno nso ewon nsem kakra eno no nti se de ye katabia eno na ye de we nso eba no ruta no nso beboa na afi ruta life no eno atimi aboa na ohuru ni pedua o mojanum e de ama na bibia nso atimi akokama no eho ensem na afi ruta tonic de mu eye ene se eno nso boa ruta tonic ne de dwuma de bebre ewo ni pedua no na eno nso de boa ne se ene typhoid fever bi e hawa dwena anya be beboa 0244485632 nafi wadi nkomo Natural Company Limited ehone yedi ani che Natural in some countries Proslav capsules when you be ababu na ojonso sem ojonso na ebi kem nafi entimi embe ya wadro eno no ojonso ne mu pamie no a wode pe Proslav ababu Truman capsules no enso ya weak erection premature ejaculation eno ebe ko nafi Congo ointment ana ye kan wansem se de ne oni pedua no nso nsa ese ni pedua na ni ana kokobi efi ni pedua na ni wonya bi ebetimi abo 0249017101 nafi wadi nkoma emulate ba supplement emulate na mekanfo ede amase e boost immune system na support general well-being ti unya bi nafi onso onoma beboa nafi oni pedua no SCP assistant ya no ahye no nso ede ama me se emulate no eno ana mekanfo de ama oyo ba wa fefuna na ma akra no fo akra ni mfie dumie no a untimi mane bi ema no nom ema ne nye ye hye no nso ma me 0535112813 nafi wadi enkomo AB Herbal Clinic on edi ani che wani ya oya o doctor ni glaucoma na cataract ni nyina no yare se AB Herbal Clinic do ani che wa beboa na bibia e kama edi ama menstrual disorder ni nyina no yade se unya bi na afi wonso utimi no be ye for stroke yade nyina AB esemen kan tro se oboa na afi wasa yare edi ama wo kidney problem nso a what funny at your kumase kwada so dwena se main market na chi wo ana ye kan se doctor etna se odini dwuma na afi nso doma inkro ye be Ebenezer primary school ho and ye di adwuma ye 0541 565 199 0541 565 199 now what in common ABA Herbal Clinic and very form at wasana finiama e kama etimi edi ama na ye sere nuama ebesi akoye ram na afi ni nkoma kakre na ye ntoaso na ye di nkoma na ya toaso de a na ya hwese nuama ensum ebesi akonya me adoma ye wesa Friday na Ghana na Japan ye game no friendly game no eno enso ebeba so Ghana mrantie no international break enche na omo e report na bom Ghanaian players mienu wo mo enso free Ghana hana afi omo Eremu ewo ye kan say amonone na omako Johnny team no eno eye Kevin Nkrumah and afi Prince Owusu womo efri Nkrumah na afi omediama players no womo akoka ene to eno eye kakre fro de banti update no and e de ema no players no naja Owusu mo enso kwa womo ede ene kakra de ba yenso ye bi ama no ye beto aso na afi ye di ye nkoma ye be Ram Street na afi Ghanaian players abroad de anopa ye de wonseme de ba ye Ram na ye nto aso ewo ye nkoma nimu a African Paralympic Committee President Era Samson Dean anopanomidikan at the update in abroad chess or my voting amanasa retaining the seat no as is here Oka African Paralympic Committee President Era Samson Dean ono and say Jan and also or Tanaso for the 4 years and also away him and afi Ignatius and so General Secretary no our African Paralympic Committee no one and a dini juma one so womo to aba edemana as is what national finuama I come I don't sem kakra every amount e wo show no so na no pay nra e wo the super class no ye room na afi ni nkomo na afi yan se de nuama e be si akode afa na before say game no e be ba so no yenya ne ye kan say wo celebrities bebria wonum enso etime ba ye won beta chiri ma nuama etime ye kamase na so se de medi kan de ho nsem ma no wono enso bo modern before the game no wotimi e bai e ma me so rocky has JC manuama enso ye kama yi pa e wo honum se da no pamede ma no anafi se wa me he enso e bai e ma ono so beta chiri e manuama nso etimi ye kama e wo honum ye de wonsem no e the e ma na no pi na o hwe se the atmosphere no enso esiti o stadium ono ma na otimi se enuama ededa na kwampa e wo ho ye de wonsem no e the e ma e wo ho na we stadium atmosphere na no odin pa otimi se supporters no wo mobile e wa chese enuama ye kama mobile numbers e be support manuama enso etimi akoye Morifin Donzo ono ana bo modern ehye go no was penalty ana onua ereto na ete ho na ohwe se enuama siko ya that was the first goal no e bae e game Morifin Donzo e convert penalty no kama pa enso e ho ereto na ete de wonsem ni nyina no the amount ene anope e show no so latest ni nyina eba na incident no enso more nice ye ne mum ye be say the goal no esiko ye it was nice goal and no so e ba so a ohwe se the Morifin Donzo super player of ocean first goal de makotoko ewo ye kan say against us game and ultimately no ehye pa na ball no ana to na ete de wonsem e de ba incident ne de dodo na na si ye ewo game no na ye be kwa ma no so na afia di nkomane referee GK Manu e ball enkomo na afi ya be say the nuama esiko mo be ma game na da so na afi ya be say the offside no eno so esitie na ya be say the nuama esiko ne referee eni nkomo emfa game no. Hello referee, good morning.
Good morning.
Me ba chompombo ko de
Afoboko
nyame asepa em say enra enkomo aye di nyina na ye centered on ye can say game and no bar so the super clash incident esi ye wa group amano so obi adi hu nkomo eye the offside goal has a share referee Eddie Salah and a man for Gidi say baby and a player no ejano now or offside position be so onside referee mo hwe game ni ya wo ba me adi hu nkomo say na uzu hu no
but some more time kakra
but I say
more time kakra
so your time pa into the chichumai
o say atan member we say so no no me start to enyama at least therefore issues is park so 4 incidents first one here penalty no I mean the penalty no.
Yeah.
And then say party issue ni na say utana na wenta no. And say more video ni bo mo hwe mo hu utana ana say wenta no. Muna mo educate here mu hwe na mo hu a mo ka ya because amankwa ba fi mistake o ye say so bi so beta na dia nka kire o che ni wi na o say kuta no. O ma o di wi penalty here ni mu ansa na o kuta no. Nje no one. Second one na kotokofo so appeal say SB ball nza nke penalty. Question bi say ball no bi ball ankata make ball no anta penalty ana. Nke no enye penalty. Nke no so dia no. Now don't so ensu enya ball bi no da outside position and let the ball man no. Ball so ko say ya kan mo ka say ball no da outside position and ya ball na man no. But when the ball no man no. Asibe no control no adan ho ko ball na man goalkeeper. Ena when intercept here and no boy engineer and na ekoball hard player. That is the third incident. And then the fourth one, it means the mention Besoko and say, these are the incidents I see amount for AD referee nothing. It is because of 3 incidents. I remember last one so 3 incidents is saying now referee mistake away any day. And Yaman so the Lord backing out taking that decision. It no. Now remember the fourth one now okay any outside. Question is can say Amra come back me nya baby a ansane ombe head ball no. Nya se baby a na wayolu ogina.
Projecting teams refer also nti aha obetima aboy kakra.
Nti we de onyedu baby a na egina no wayo egina no Africa ball no baby a na ogina no. Se ka wudu aka mu de ka mu tinye twa hall na ka mu stop na ansane oba no. And second, over check the full place in Tamun. If you offer police nearby, and then question about some that then should you cry. And second, over that kick in Kotokunina was anymore. Opusino. Opusi, Kotokunina, or Bobo, because with the outside the country, or almost all the museum. In the second year outside the crank, town crosses, now, born a heavy, Kata wants to know all about it. If you had a ball, look, let's say, and the Baba, Yakamana, or J ball, and the outside, the West, yes, and I was. There be the worst in the judge outside. That time now ball air ban one. Now if another, you come out the ball because you are 2 for position 1 to position 2. Only for position 1 air ban no for position and already ball. So we need to outside amount for a company or side.
Ref, say oh boy kakra baby what pausing original say original offside be had the engine so offside but before say ball say ban will be not we free mo original players in Vivini.
What ka we play kakra ansana ball or head no one or head the ball no one labor. Say what my feet and still picture that also. When the man ko na or head ball your head ball go be ansana over. Nyeto or head ball ha. Also head ball na ansana no fi at the time I had the ball no free mover. But what the ball no I could for place in them. Next time I had the ball outside no. Come now ball or heavy and never never no fever. Oh the over there see I was a ball don't still I had the ball. I didn't know. Still the upper position. But the upper position we saw only one moment on had the ball we after na o move rubber. But so all the meeting.
Yeah, me too. I say,
or heavy ball, you answer the whooping rubber. That time I had the ball, no proper position ever. But all the ball is there. That time no in our position, but and then the head is edge. Time now had the ball, no FIFA and ever. Only where was the player? Time I had the ball. In Tiano, a year on. We said, Obaya and Sana, what had the ball and Oban. Which I had the ball after we play over. In that time, it's offside. And the question could have and said, and then we got where the answer referee was standing. Only was super critical, position, or didn't so into Unyano. Clear, we shall have the general one. Now, while you didn't. I thought that is now it's now. Or had you born in here now, all about bonus now, and then the flag went out. In the flag, look or so cry and son of all season. Flag look or so cry and son of all the season.
Yeah, no crepa, yeah. And then the season I'm talking about, I mean, you just say, I tell all about season, no physical to go in a winning mono. It is outside request you more, and Kevian can over the foul. So now my question is, why am I flag to be outside you? Was it the referee or that time referee? It was that time referee.
Adena Reginald no Ekabono. Reginald no Ede. And on the Geo side, I thought that's in the man. So far as offside is concerned, is the duty of the other referee. In the other referee in the Juma and on Abumu. And to referee in the offside, was the officially. If you can no car, all the referee, he saw everything, but and almost done. Look at the flag. The flag is up. And tell the whole ball when the flag is up. It is a new say amount for Ekasa with Reginald no with the match on the day why he's the referee. After that now I did offside anyway. You must know how to Kotoko Ghana and you are what qualified series you are. After that the offside Equity Ghana and we are for and referee penalty. Or just fight the who's after the flag so I watch offside. Or can say penalty no offside. Because on the offside if they can say ya say European matches are two such as the minimum so remember one match just a single match I refugee offside but here I say any day would you be you foul part is after refugee be a referee meanwhile after referee duty is what offside any referee offside that referee no is John Odi so you know abo man so Reginald e dey pan why
well em say
yeah
who church and chairman de watch mama yati ase you see
Reginald no e dey pan why I've given you 4 different incidents on the field of play. These are the major incidents you see on match no. The deal you have been get referee no. Nothing. All the 4 incidents matches you know Kotoko 4 appeal na enye penalty. I mean the penalty or say if you pass that deliberate pass or the man here a call here pick you so say angwaje. But the question here can be seen to beba. Look at what the other question or say but who kicked the ball to him? We say free after position but after that in there after now bobo kick look at the referee was about Ben Kran and Obo. So I don't see the qualms. Reginald a dear pan or a dear pan or was go away. After that man flash no boom. I don't know who about now be the man.
Okay, I'm say watch it mama na enra referee no more in general you can say retired man no percentage wise obama referee saying more enra
who say we di heart no to match recently we di 4 matches
yeah
we di 4 matches this is the match I would be yes for party we see the match I would be unya samunka party sa match ni capacity oji e baby no gina. He was less than 5 meters away. Into a deal, the performance, me man 10, me man 10 out of 10. And now my, but his performance was excellent. So far as this match is concerned,
retired you be jaw kwa mwako na has national chapters committee for the statement bi abase omu hia referee Reginald Collins e wo mo match bia mu bi omo tro the amade FA say omu ntimi guarantee ni safety e wo has match bia nti has match bia no was omu appointing na omu bitimi a guarantee ni safety or pitch no so as a retired referee with this statement big cloud say has vote the ababonte no referee o be kakaka fa ho ana
question we say appointment no na appointment ana
was that the FA no na ye
neba you owe appointment that is so be say yen salary ya ko animo ya ko e wo mu amene person chi ase say we say the make us be here mo presenters ni bi nka mu nyina ebi e na eketi ta problem we nyina because e bi mu nya mo so mo presenters mo nya mo so mo fanatics ada to okotoko ana or has nti ekoma kotoka o ekotoko nya onka akoma has onka ka penalty na na kotoko po complain no o say se be no senka e kotoko side na ka kotoko po complain na ka tell na atema na come to the car nti me say you have what you me dey o me ma yi on player na ko boss the fourth referee no I just no maka ho or right say at a match or attack referee na ya kata mo say who problem that is the open for all no let them right to say o me match no if the referee na afuma they will punish them but as a player it take a management in them e go referee asu is it right and then nobody is complaining about that nobody is complaining about that and offside no one say o papa and look what you match, and only look what you match, and a player bonus. Can I think about players who can do it? Yes, any pass but you're training in such a way. Today, training and players who are not more officials in the genuine. I can a player opening the double reference. In front of home, yeah, I'm kind of let's play with America. America no you. Or to the baby. Left in baby, a match in a match like a command with a very fast. Player what to America power match where Mayfeder or 9 kilometers. The referee was run 15 kilometers in this match. Why not? One address. Yeah, my players not in my church almost one player or you will say. I am Papa. And I know if they will take this matter up. I know they will take this matter up. Why? Look at the situation. Huh? And now in Chia TNT, yeah, the man will say against him. So his situation I can't tell you, referee again, why? Dear Pan, why? And a 4th now for bonus to me, 4th only do match. And I said, can I get a job as Papa Woody? And it's yes, also signing with you.
Whoa.
Because you're legal, you know. I've never calling you.
I'm retired. Really, you ever asked the same Chimo, the Amayem say, I told you at your phone, and I assume I'm will be at and was in tea. Maybe I saw I dream about Banafia Sabin Comobium. Okay, and we are retired. The refugee came in now. You didn't come on. Mobenya statements no. Every four no. Omodi Baya Ometro na Omodi Abba Hussein Adams Mohammed Hussein green paper na ready. Awumu ede you can say bano and so abono uma charge no awumu chere say nyame adoma on a house nyina club no until nyame adoma china Tuesday 11th omo responding to charges idea moment say o board referee assistant referee assume this and man hard we but Vance him say did you hear any ana
see the here na 11 players no say 22 no nkwa na kwatena ne za ko board referee
no be any no go about no on or turn inside
na the issue near day
referee sisi no oh referee sisi nti
okay
the bofu
yeah
it was a hard Monday
Mate yes any couple that say
yeah no
yeah yemre na yemeto aso free anti yemra so meza
yes yeah on common dey ebebre intina na me pese me nya daji wo korokone has game no. Now there is no need semesa ako a different topic around the game after say refugee came in couple etini any stories here to him. I think for the refereeing decision part no the technical person a wonim de ewo mu no akasa bebre dia fa ho na emede say one cite only one instance in the game a referee take a major decision yaw or cite four the edikan Peter Amido akwa penalty na see within the game and he has made it clear say Amankwa Befi there was a contact in the penalty box, there was a foul and yaw I wouldn't need a soothsayer to come and tell me say that ball and then your penalty against her to folk. And I think Amankwa Befi should have done better in that instance. By how every player makes a mistake, and it happened. See, and you're not one player on Kuchada. The number of times Sibemu in Aswa at dispo here, Omoje Jabo, Bimamia, the Jeff films and your has been worse. Timoma Boy and Ason Kwedidim. Amankwa Befi is not the first player to have even made a mistake in that regard. And that is a clear penalty. Number 2. Or say Sibe incident no yaw obeso kire say uti referee community a don't zo share that target say obobo ne de abo or say Sibe nsa meaning say that was the whole idea. And even with the video I make an opportunity here and yaw I saw say ball no cra touch a certain part of a Sibe's body before ansa na ekobo ne nsa yaw nkomo me no udi a center referee ni nkomo obia to na near center referee ni so say anu abon anu awia has anu abon ana game no wani ye anu anya de ana game no wasani nyina ne yawo yamao 4 solid decisions e course wo game ni mu a referee no betima blame na 1 Peter Amidu there you can't blame him 2 Osesibe penalty, you can't blame him. 3, the same Osesibe back pass. 4, the offside. Center referee knew offside. We will discuss about whether it is an offside or not. But the first fact we need to establish, near say, center referees NJ offside. Yamfantu a trim. Center referees, they don't take offsides in games.
Wontumi.
And yow, yes, I 4 major incidents here. My body na. So if you say who team me, bring me another major incident. How is a referee na there? Then we'll discuss. Just bring another major incident. Referee ni di ye. Uncle first answer same way you ba. Ebia obu betimi afun aka say ye na we dia wasisi me no. Mama 4 major incident and the referee has 0 hands in it. And ni nyina no so no referee no they also take decision no yaw. O take ni ye. O take ni ye correct. Unless you have a different mindset coming into this particular encounter yaw. Among the last 4 to 5 Kotoko games I remember di mani ahwe. And yaw, this is the best refereeing performance I have seen. Center referee. Thierry, center referee. This is the best center refereeing performance I have seen from a referee. Seba Kotoko has game in the last 4 to 5 games. Yaw, ba kubi kura na Kotoko share has 1-0. Many Michael has abon no green stars. The Esibeko Klebo one clean ya amwa that game many my John and America say referee dey I say osuro kra say obe take decision and baby on here ten referee need to be the way so no corner no say obebo no ojai ebe no ojai because osuro but for confidence and no game na referee dey here no yaw I'm telling you say normal day that penalty on Peter Midu akwa will not be given to Kotoko. Because referee be slow said that moment pie game no. Because the mentality some of these referees take it to the Kotoko games because of some of these reasons. And yow, mimlemu obia just any pa ba kope. The entire Yabo game we are center referee is still the subject of discussion.
Who blame why?
Me blame House of Folk NCC chairman Yusuf. Yow, before the game. I know Babonti be interview mu didi nkomodele tenyina Babonti say referee Reginald the new so di House of Folk game na House of Folk games are wadi no DT awom na ofri Ashanti region oti askwa ofri askwa na be say you see yaw in your setting minimum fans have a way of spicing up a game. Enya hankwa na biasi Real Madrid ne Barcelona be bokra we see the omutide referees
ali fo nyina ye bi Zamalek mu nyina
ali mu nyina na Zamalek mu nyina ye bi but me big concern what this issue ni nyina me blame Chema Yusuf say in the current setting na ye wom no yaw how we react towards referees any certain things that happens no ya hu bi amane kofa to renchem kese de bre Ghana ha May 9th and between the same Kotoko and Haas who were playing. So when you make such a statement and there comes a controversial decision within the game, controversial in the sense that controversial to fans don't want anti-game rules na say. But me it's not controversial to me because that was a real decision the assistant referee needed to take. And referee attached him the reason why it is an offside. Then all of a sudden there's a brouhaha. Oh, we dear tia oh, we dear tia because you babo game no you cut to support the three say referee be wiayen. It's acquire akoko sachira kroma kra enye ne fe. Because the mentality has already been set. Adwene da obi trim buyaka kakraka pafo kesiye. Do you understand robbery? Yow, mama, me so we a House of Folk supporter and I a Kotoko supporter. This morning, give me an incident where the center referee Riamo. Give it to me, me tell. Sometimes we need to protect referees who do their jobs well. Yow, me no me say every single weekend when I come here, I won against your referees so mu kodi game a yem person Monday beba ha no na be the subject of discussion. Yaw, me hu referees money mo wo ekrom ase enye. Enyo, enye. But yaw, enra game na ye ball ne per se. The center referee, yaw, utimi hwe ne kase wa robbery against you. Then you're not being fair. And it is because a certain supporters chairman came out, said a lot of things about the referee before the game, and the demand for trim. It is where I go can ye ball match in and any players. Anna Hussein after before Ankwesa, Anna supporters, you know, where to way, and when they incite violence, no. Why Anna incite violence? Who did that? When a year. When and a quiet. Let's not be playing with some things. And me from your maybe near grokra. There are various ways you can channel your energy. And I think the FA are open to every single case you have. On referee now, there are ways to speak to it.
So I'm say more argument and a crime so when you say time now crossing a buy na player no a demo. When a flicky ball no koi, a more budget tone of boss board that bicycle kicking.
Refugee came and watch him.
Me to say so all them they are them. But the moment I will play a bet amount there, clearly offside.
Yeah, refugee came and
so opponent in a pemo, everybody can see. Okay, say time a match and of course that time I'm say na me amini pay bobo na kwa koma asare.
SB.
Yeah. I know boy no we say koroko play no we chona J. So any offside.
And no deliberate play and any deliberate play.
So the one pass actually.
The word is deliberate play.
Yeah.
Very good.
But we now just say sack offside you know. Has play and them fine. So when a pin ball no call.
Yeah.
Only was the establishing that.
Utie GK
so send teammate and a pin call there clearly offside.
Utie GK men come on now would na. GK men which train some now where you so keywords be me pay close attention to.
Yeah.
Initially me any ba was asking questions say kotoko player na pem ko ye dia then me no me anu tianum dia na assistant referee ni pre no hododo na was assistant referee ni boa referee no intimate ase but what tie GK menu explanation na we use no say FIFA law 11 me de sa law no krama Shadrack obese o say in a particular position a ball na nam wiem no omumi enu nyina ekopem ball no obetima terminus as a deliberate player na. Say a deliberate player, that means one of them had control over the ball. At that moment, Nipona when you control no, and they be determine whether the ball and a ball never player and be offside and I say and your offside. In this instance, ball no, all the two players no any control over the ball. Yendi can find who say trimo. Asema me for free GK menu commoning. Me come from an expertise ho. Come on, me dia me ma for free no. Because I'm so much booming tanta. Or simple on the Korean na. A Korean ni say no two players or say a player in an offside position receiving ball from an opponent. So maybe Mauli Wayo a player in an offside position receiving ball from an opponent. Opponent ni a kotoko player. So opponent ni a kotoko player including by deliberate handball. It's not considered to have gained an advantage unless it was a deliberate save by an opponent. Deliberate play in the actual say it's when a player has a control of the ball. Yow. Deliberate play no. You say it's when a player has control of the ball.
So question I me say Bisana you say ball free mobano. Two players and a call for that area challenge.
Yes.
Area no.
Yes.
Area duel.
Yes.
When tin a can ball no.
Has player tika ball, kotoko player tika ball.
Okay.
Has player tika ball, kotoko player tika ball. But the establishment of the fact it was our zone me say both players had no control of the ball.
So any deliberate
and yet deliberate play. Baby, I'm a person me establish me in a tia no. Yaw. Umumi no ball na kowiem. Akowiem no bia ho ka ball no.
Say Shadrack mo na ball ne ba na ba be see time obi pim no so a. Ke bia in the slow down mode na mo de e be kan planet na rank ya boss stop and come me no panka mo me stop picture na come me.
And yaw, both players had no control over the ball because ball no wiem and omu nyina pre akoye dey akopem kay ade anka omu nyina mo kwakopem ball na bia house for player gina form kotoko player na the advantageous position say me control ball na say me pema it's a deliberate play. So and a perfect example now cite here between this situation any Osasibedie no Osasibedie a deliberate play because he had control over the ball ya meboa na sibeni control over the ball. But with these two players here, Mujina Heyaw, Ubetimi Akanyami and no crepa, Tifiri Akache say, na player will control over this ball. No. So this is definitely not a deliberate. Mike, bra. This is not a deliberate play by anyone in that particular angle. So making this game offside. And I'm making ball where come out with Wayo and offside.
Shadrach checking the way we are sending. Fantasoma me sending no one, me sending it two so I can a two way. It refers to IFAB Buena. Deliberate play no. I think we should break it down. Yeah, now man for NTS here. And so the two so me kind so the amount then I will interpret it for you. Me kind wa akomia chem say deliberate play which excludes deliberate handball. Player no control of the ball with the possibility of say me make it a ball and me pass ya kuma my teammate. So in the instance of a CSB, no pass the ball na man goalkeeper. So it was a deliberate attempt. He had control of the ball. Obiam man pressure, obiam force no ball in that form and a all pass in the ako. Then it was intercepted. So in that case, and you're offside. Again, deliberate play or control of gaining possession of the ball and now clearing the ball either by kicking it or heading it. Now, if the pass or attempt to gain possession or clearance by the player in control of the ball is inaccurate or unsuccessful, it does not negate the fact that the player deliberately played the ball. Into a CSB, for instance, Yanyan send your CSB, yes, or pass your command, the teammates will be offside. I could intend a Sadi Amunji offside, Debbie. So, my pass and say successful and I say successful. The moment say satisfy the criteria for deliberate play, no, I was here due to. Now, there is another criteria again to further expand the context of deliberate play. To kind of say the following criteria should be used as appropriate as indicators that a player was in control of the ball and as a result can be considered to have deliberately played the ball. 1, the ball traveled from distance and the player had a clear view of it. So ball ni free baby neighbor and the player no the obebo ball no say ye wiem say ye from onim say ball ni say neighbor nti and yes adia my shoulder and I made change ball and I made the idea. 2, the ball was not moving quickly. As a ball, no, ya boy, I bro. She should be him. I kama. Be danakwemu. The direction of the ball was not unexpected. Now, as a ball, no, ya bomb mommy. It was intended for me. And yes, all of a sudden, ball not chianaba. Then I have to do something about it. Then the other one, the player had time to coordinate their body movement, which is, it was not a case of instinctive stretching or jumping, or a movement that achieved limited contact or control. Now, sir, minimum boni benti say, I was a me head here. Oh, boni a media magia to me boso midimitia pime friho. I had enough time to study my options. Whether a major ball not to mebo ball and I made the bed. And then the last one is more important. A ball moving on the ground is easier to play than a ball in the air. Now, a ball need that form near body. Deliberate play is a wood determiner. A simple and cocoa.
Yes.
But say na you can't easily determine it. It feeds back into the subjective thing I made about the Liverpool thing. Ball in them ball na ba. It's difficult to interpret whether a deliberate place a menya contact and I say menya contact. Ball betime na mwema ba. Make that and say na bebo miti. And so so o study this criteria ebubumu wa. Na bo video ni bio. So mo bo video ni bio ha. Yemfa de match me so obi yase ya. Ya yemfa ncheche mo mo hwe ofi o mo ye no mo mfa interpreting. Yesterday as a tendranajo, the bone of contention was why the bone iti.
Yes.
But after carefully perusing emrana IFA for the aba any refugee came in that even becomes inconsequential. Clearly, it is a cross. Yeah, a cross and aba. The cross came from House of Folk's left. So who had control of the ball? House of Folk. Tienio. House of Folk had control of the ball.
Okay.
And your more attack. I'm no more ball no. Shadrach, I think that I was saying send you video way. It would also help.
Do you want to send piano?
Yeah, me the big video we man. And no cry my end is slow mo, so it will help him to better understand. Into me piano so the amount. Now, has na enya an action, which is an offensive action into a tier ball so, and our ball cross ne tin the akko. So again. The first point from the cross, who is in control of the ball? House of Folk. The moment the ball leaves the House of Folk player, it becomes an open ball. I also a challenge.
Okay.
A area challenge. Meme okosro. Also okosro. Sadia. It is deemed as a 50-50 ball. Me pacho de make what you say. A 50-50 ball. We are all challenging for the ball. And truly, Kotoko player ne has player no more challenge ball no. You can see that there is not even a distance between them. Inti criteria na miche no. The Kotoko player had the time to coordinate the movement, position who is a ball Is that what happened? Ball no or say at the form easier to play than in the air. Next you will likely face challenges like this.
And according to IFAB.
IFAB making kind man.
Okay.
But all these things are happening because it is about the preconceived mindset before say game nebebaso. Say, in my opinion, I Kodoko also a reactionary statement be after has for any or more response no. They also complained about a referee or obedi game this I didn't know more condemn and almost about referee be doing so more slamping for so more referee so. This is my advice to the two clubs. Yeah, and Raso Muhu Stadium in Konyana Newono. When supporters fail to do their jobs and become so much concentrated on destroying the reputation of persons without enough evidence, I think it is very unfortunate, and we need to speak to it. The Endra game near the biggest game in Ghana's football history. And they said they're WAC any Raja airball. And they said they're River Plate any Boca Juniors airball. And they said Al Ali any Zamalek airball. We should have an atmosphere that is very edifying, an atmosphere charged, speaking well of Ghana football in history. Supporters in Treme banner bakum po mo so mo de stadium ako display omo mame bakum. The two clubs. Amumame just one banner. See a ye banner way you could display wo amumame baako. The supporters should come out and tell us stadium ne capacity ni saying ticket don't was sign or mutumi toye.
Both clubs.
Yeah. I think we are at a certain stage where the supporter feels onimum run crossing expect no them running ejuma. And that time none of the House of Folk supporters from NCC necessarily question from or minimum running sin referee no jina mfimfini di akensie no or minimum runner and rather decision no even if say okoti or more they would have pointed towards the assistant referee and not the center referee. A lot of ignorance and illiteracy, lack of knowledge of the game and how it operates and dominating Ghana football. It is one of our biggest issues. Adia kesia ba ko edi Ghana football nya. Media man no koye commentary na mrano ko nim with emotions. Ekoti akotokwa. No abet. Debi enyesa. Then the media festers such talk. Into media no sabe yene e wasanke correct ne yetene ne yetre no. No mom kra so sujagum. Because the media man acts more like a fanatic than a Jumana was all, you know. And that is our biggest being. Ye Juma ke see no problem ke see Ghana football facing a lot of ignorance a lot, and then we are fooled by sensationalism. Excuse me, but Chairman Yusuf, say now the bear has a humanity. Oh, I'm telling you for a fact. Say a human is saying no bear because it is not a change that drives a positive outcome. It is a repetition of the old. And Chairman Solo, another one so confirm out. So munya kodokodiano so confirm the same thing.
So after
it looks like the quiddities and then the absurdities exciting more than the actuality.
So I say we didn't dear banner when so
before the game and way after the game, before the game, no Koroko forced the statement.
Me key reference to the now can say Koroko so the dear banner. Hans the banner Koroko the banner.
Yes.
So Hans NCC during after the game. So we no make key made mention of the center referee.
Now even Mebo, BBC is here after the game. No, you sit down with a technical panel. You carefully study. So what the statement be by you document instances where referee no cheating more into draw incident one. It be a minute say video footage can you can even petition the FA with that. Any amateur referee no cheating 5 times. What site incidents they see minute say video account. The second incident see minute say video account, and then the most controversial of them all a BC offside goal ball near ball. But now when I say ball near goal, referee bar by now ball 2 my goal. Who determines what is a goal and what is not a goal?
Has for fun.
There be meba.
10 minutes beyond the see.
Akomia meba. When the referee in what the ultimate authority. Say referee bona bang and sana ball. Antoinette mu. It is not a goal. Yensiamra na the emotions near the cause. I'm telling you this. Before the NCC releases this statement, and I said before they released it, they should have documented all the incidents. Omo feel say anko enti omo fa video nka ho omo fa mra bonten. Anka media na be som no ma discuss. But you don't submit empty statements, press releases. What kind of football are we running here? Wontumi in Philly Stadium, and then you are embroiled in controversy. I know na yemo de. Sebe mumi enjoy sani man na mbobia.
Okay,
so the game. Controversial stuff. Very irrelevant. Honestly, I'm telling you for a fact.
Why?
You are wasting time on this issue. Away. It is worth noting that Alhaji Yusuf has remained silent about the 2 assistant referees, Roland Adi, Cheflos Akugri, both of whom are Accra-based. If his intention was truly to ensure the end, not watch him the alcohol, why do you even do this? Why? Statement nebi kan one fan kan mami. Or release no. Onya ne ketua. Ebi kan.
Wontumi Philly Stadium.
Before the game.
Maybe amobe allegation.
Or reduce no nya ketua kra. Obe say we no mon sign we no.
Ya ba ha no mani. Because of the moye anti referees near discuss.
One.
Akatates ye di ball game no. Obi a started 3 back. Has to folk about 4 shots, 0 on target.
No, that one is wrong. At the platform, at the platform, at the platform. So, opesa we ye league na. Yeni. So, opesa we ye league na. Yeni. You can't prepare team formational lineup. Not even players are starting to cry mistake. Enra Saka now that appeared twice. Ewo kotoko lineup. They are twice in the what I'm catching say to you. Additionally, we express our legitimate concerns regarding assistant referee Theophilus Akugri. They are obiya now complaining. Now also obey the same thing. Now koya now by. Enti kotoko ne has ni nyina no. Sebe etita for no mumpejam. Mumpejam.
So san kene Monday because
mumpejam.
At a point na has so bobo pa. Korokon so defend on line is very
me say supporters of mumpejam. They should upgrade their level of understanding regarding the game.
I was discussing collapse.
They should raise it.
because at a point I felt didn't so throw the men in have
this morning.
No, you be holding and breath near catch him on the break.
This morning and this afternoon should have been a dedication to Pitami Duakwa. Now you didn't come out for how explosive he was, and then perhaps the obet media can the game no who be taking it up. Those who are sharing the first goal for Asante Kotoko, that's the signal, the beginning of great things to come. It follows in line with strikers or Mabeshe has in recent times, starting from Mbele Tugwa, Albert Amwa, Stephen Mukwala, and the list goes on. And to those who follow through with that tradition now, again, Seth Kojo and in the passing range. Hussein Mohammed for the incident we involved in and how brilliant he was at a point in time in the game. Abdul Karim, anyhow, obey CZ dominance back into House of Folk fold. One starting game now, he came off the bench. But when Abdul Karim came on board, checking field. Rafael Amponsane Nezidan 10 Bino the 22 players. We should have been discussing this at this point in time. Again, the distribution of Benjamin Asare, is it a cause for concern, and what can change? Kamara and the protection he received from Samba, Ansu, Lord Hilary Adabo, and how reckless and rash he can be in terms of net tackles. A lot of angles to discuss concerning this game. Momo se momo yenye. Momo me yenye. Stadium kramun to me fele. Na debia na referee way and na referee way. Most of them name official. Emrani kura di ejuma kramunim. Emrani di ejuma kramunim. Aya na motesa. Now chairman you see via to abe you na nsenya controversy na referee. Fire burn you na munja dia mo ye no. Challenge mo ye na say game no kra. They are destroying the game. And none panel. If there is a corporate manager in his office, OTR, if the person anytime so no abe na research why the conclusion the person makes is that and the referee no we yeah. I na motesa. Obi fancy can shabo nim na mumu Dinamo useless politics and then needless emotions. Namo financial investment,
Very bad.
Why are you doing this?
Yes, sir.
Munja is anyo mani mo ye no ne yen koye nim.
More call supporters at the end of the day so.
No do. It does too much.
Say no.
It does too much. You don't even talk about the fact that and this is the record. Me, I like to speak with facts.
Yeah.
Referee no almost so do matches are on favor no. And it's even enyanokre. Before has game in the league, nobody has matches 4.
Yeah.
Vision FC 1-0, Heart of Lions. Yeah. Nobody 4. Vision FC 1-0, Heart of Lions 2-1. Bechem United only defeat they have suffered was against Kotoko Kumase. And no. Who will you say CBA?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the man Mukwala, any Isaac Opon, Mukwala scored 2 Isaac Opon.
Yeah. It's game.
Exactly. Then Enra game they can win 5 Premier League matches already involving us. Omoko Baseke Holy Stars go we need 2-1. He was part of the referees Omudi game. No?
But as Umbeso Muchese or bad record tier has OT supporters.
Or bad record tier.
There be but due to me maybe Omoko fast.
Or bad record tier maybe so.
There be but
good.
Outside again supporters need to
again has and their poor home record this season. Can we talk about it? Has here one of the best teams on the road at home this season. Before Go Stars, no how many goals with he. Near back on. On your 0-0. And Osha 11 Wonders 1-0. Heart of Lion 0-0. Go Stars no Mubo 2-2. Kotoko 1-0 we Lucy.
There's a
one form for compare my record. You won't sit down and then talk about these things and find solutions to it. Not seven who only referees then I'm open someone say any problem.
Referee. The
House of Folk supporters leadership should be serious.
Okay. omo so omo a version of the umbeso omo kenzi ejrem say any chairman Yusuf nominee has for so be din komo na ya ju omo version of the eno so e course no ya na mase the course enra and Messiah ne Michael Asaribodu omo digesting 7 but then I go say you know second of no na chi twa ni mutwa
kompo na ibechi omo
kompo bechi omo
oh masa